Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn GCP with Mahesh. So in our today's video in Think and Design in GCP video series, the question is something like this. You want your data analyst to access BigQuery console via service account. The moment you see this line, right, this is a very tricky part and both of them does not go hand in hand. BigQuery console, meaning basically you need to log into your GCP console and go to your BigQuery console and try to query it. But when you are using GCP console, you can only access it using a individual identity, which is either a Gmail, G Suite, or cloud identity. You cannot use your service account. The reason is very simple. Service account has a email ID and a private key. But to log into your Google account.google.com, you need to have a email ID and a password. So that is a main simple thing using which you cannot do this. So that's the reason if you are using service account, you can call things via APIs, but not using BigQuery console. But the requirement is totally opposite. So let's see what are the other things they are expecting. You also wants to run, the analyst also wants to run SQL queries in multiple tabs. Another tricky thing. So if you have seen the BigQuery console, it's only one screen or a tab where you can run the queries. So again, both the things are very tricky, and that too they want it to be accessed via service account. I'm not sure whether this is really possible, but the question is, can you provide a possible solutions? What are the possible solutions which you can do? So if you want to think about the solution and let me know the solution, the good solutions in the comment section. As usual, I have couple of possible solutions, may not be the best solutions, but a possible couple of solutions. I wanted to share one and I will do the other thing in a next video. So let's go to the solution part. So before we go into the solution part, just wanted to set the stage so that you understand what we are actually doing in this video series. So this is my GCP web console. In that specifically, this is my GCP BigQuery console. So this is what you see, and how I have logged into this, it's using my Gmail ID, not using my service account. That is one thing which you need to be very clear. Now we have a data set called demo, and the project name is called silicon-I some number there. Demo is a data set, and the table name is table underscore TBL. So you can see the content there. If you want to query, you can just put a query there. Like I just wanted to query one single field. Never ever put select star, which is not a good practice. So always try to put what is the specific column you want. So just query it. You should be able to see the output there. So everything looks good, but the problems which was asked in the this thing cannot be solved using this BigQuery console because we have logged in using our ID, and whatever we do, if we just go to query history, whatever we do, it logs under our name. So if you see, just ran, and if I just open this, what it shows it was run by this user. So it always shows my ID, and if I cannot put a tab like how I put in browser, I cannot put multiple queries here. So that's very difficult here. So these are the current issues with BigQuery console. So that's the reason the analysts have asked you some options. So let's try a couple of options there. So what we'll do is as a best practice to see this solution, I'm going to use a low privileged user. So let's not use owner. So let's try to pretend as if like there's an analyst. So the analyst's email ID is demo.gcp 2018, the one which we use regularly. And for this analyst, I'm going to give the lowest privilege you can give, browser under project. All good. So we'll just add it, and you see it's been reflecting. What we'll do is I'll switch to my Chrome Firefox browser, and we'll see what is happening with this role. Alright, I'm in my Firefox browser, so let me just log in using the same account, the analyst email ID, and let's see what and all we can explore with that role. So slightly a deviation, but just wanted to give you that context why I'm showing you all those things. So let's wait for the console to come up. So it has come up. Since we are having browser role, most of the stuffs you will see as permission denied. That's okay. Now if I come to the question which is important now is BigQuery console. So if I come to big data under there, I'll just click on BigQuery console. Let's see what we are able to see. So in our owner screen, we had seen a project. Then you see that it's already showing a message. You don't have the right permission. BigQuery.jobs.list permission. You don't have it. And if I try to expand it, it even does not show me the data set and the table details. So it is a very clear indication that as an analyst, I don't have anything which I can run. Even though I can log in, I cannot run the query. So that is very, very clear. Now, the possible solution which I mentioned was using a third-party tool called as Super Query. The name is totally nice to hear. BigQuery, SuperQuery supports BigQuery to connect and do it in two different fashion. One, you can log in if you have the right access in your GCP for the specific project. You can do the same thing in SuperQuery also. Let me just log in. So it uses your Gmail account itself to log in. So let's log in. And once it logs in, right, you get two options. That's the beauty of SuperQuery. I really was impressed when I was looking into this. One is a normal one where, as an analyst, if you have the right access, you should be able to do it. Or you can also use service account. That is what we required. So let's just wait for this console to come up, SuperQuery console to come up, and let's wait for that. Okay, it's redirecting. Let's wait for a minute here. Awesome, this is how the screen looks like. Not that jazzy as what you see, lots of buttons, but very simple, straightforward. And you see this, it shows the project empty. There's nothing which you can see. Same thing like here, because we have logged in as which user? The same user, demo.gcp 2018 user. Now, the thing is that what we'll do now is we'll try to use a service account and we'll see how we can query it. And if I just go back to the projects, you should see something will come up here when we use service account. For this, what we'll do is we'll switch back to the owner screen where we can create a service account, and let's again try to use the principle of least privilege and see whether this screen can change. Let's go back to our owner screen. Alright, I'm back in my owner screen, which is demo.gcp 2021 user. So let me go to my service account page and try to create a service account specifically to query from Super Query. So let's give the name which is apt. So we can call it as Super Query SVC service account. That's what. Click on like give a name, service account uh, to query via Super Query. superquery.io. Good. Let's click create, and to do look into all the data set and to query it, couple of roles are required. So since we are doing it with BigQuery, so let me go to BigQuery, and BigQuery data viewer is good so that I can look into the data set, and to run the query I need to have job user, BigQuery job user role. So let's get that. These two roles should definitely be able to do it. If it's not working, we'll try to fix it. So all good. Click on continue. And the most important thing, which is for service account, is click on your key, create key. So it will get downloaded to my local machine. And let's try to use that key. So close this and click on done. So far so good. What we have done is we have just created a service account. This is the name of the service account. Let me click on this and it will open up my notepad++. What I'm going to do is select this, copy it. I've come back to my super query screen. So here you have this integration option which you can click, and it shows the various other integration possible. For today, we can look into this BigQuery, and in this BigQuery, if you click on connection details, you can edit the connection. Currently, there's no service account. This checkbox indicates you're not using service account. What I'm going to do is, if I check this, this text box is something which I can edit. I'm just going to paste my service account details there. Click on apply, and let's see if it's getting connected. Click OK. and you should see this page. If I just refresh now, let me just refresh it. It's just connecting. Let's verify it. You should see that demo. Awesome. Like now, if I expand demo, you will see the table. Good. So if I click on this table at the bottom, now you will see something which is very similar to your BigQuery console, the metadata information and the table details preview, exactly like what you saw. You can see it. Cool, right? Using the service account. Now let me just run one query. So this is what the beauty I also told. So you can put multiple tabs. Let me put a tab. So let me get the table here. Okay, and let me get the table name details. So this is my table. Okay, query table. That's a good option. I never tried this. Okay, so it came in third tab. So let's use the auto suggestion is also there. So cool part. And one another feature which I really liked is it also gives you how many bytes processed. That is something which you see in the console also. Another beautiful feature which you see is how much dollars you are going to spend. That's a key part. Another cool feature. So tab, you can use a service account. You can also get the price of the query which you are going to run. Very cool feature. I really liked it. So that's the reason I thought of showing you this demo. So which could be really helpful. All good. So everything is running fine. Now the key part is we were able to fulfill everything what was mentioned in the requirement. Everything, tabs are provided, service account we did it. But do you want to just confirm whether it is really using service account? I can just show you that real quick. For that, what I have done is I have come back to my owner screen, which is demo.gcp 2021 user, and the key part is click on project history and you will see the query which you ran. So click on project history. Let me hide this editor, and you will be surprised. This is totally using service account. So if you see this, let me just refresh it to make it very, very clear. You see this part, the query which you just ran. Select and look at this. That's the beauty. The service account which you use, it is showing here. Now you have totally given access only to the service account. The users will get authenticated using OAuth to SuperQuery, but when they are running any query, the thing is all controlled by your service account. Let me just switch back to SuperQuery. So what we can do is just to show you some more part of the part, let me just remove this column and let me just put this thing integer, yeah, the second field, and run it just to show you that the details gets logged. That is what I wanted to show. It is doing. So let's switch back. So I'm in my this console in my owner screen. If I just refresh, you should see one more entry. So let's do that. I'm refreshing it and I have not paused the video. So you see this, the columns which we ran. Now it shows the details. Awesome. And this was a cool part which I really liked. You can track who is running. At least in this case, it is the service account. That's the cool part of it. I just wanted to show you one last part which is not part of this requirement, but it can provide you that cool feature. What is that? Let me show you. So I'm back in this console. One cool feature which I have seen is which is there in this multi-query, which is something cool. You can put comma, semicolon, and you can run it. So which is something cool, right? In BigQuery, you cannot run multiple queries there. So in the same tab itself, you cannot run it. But they have done a cool feature here. So something went wrong. No worries. Let me just put it here. Comma. Let me copy this. Put it here. Make it something like this one. So let's try to run it. Just wanted to show you that two queries you can put separated by comma and you should be able to see the output. That's what I wanted to show. So first result is this. Second result is this. Okay, let me just remove this parts. Does not make more sense. Now let me run it. Run it once again. You'll just see the output. So which is one of the coolest feature like which you get in most of the SQL editor. So result 1 is this, result 2 is this. Awesome. So going back to the slide. All right, if this is the kind of requirement which you get where you want to access a BigQuery kind of a console via server's account, the possible solutions which I mentioned was basically to have a third-party solution like a super query, or if you're okay to write code, Jupyter Notebook should be all good. So those are two possible solutions which I wanted to share today. Thank you for watching.